What up, guys? So I just got a note that there was no audio that was going on in here, which is weird because the interface was on. Everything should be on. I'm not sure why there was no audio, but if you guys can hear me now, let me know. I should have asked if you guys can hear me. I was wondering why you guys weren't commenting. So if you guys can hear me now, let me know in the chat. Yeah, dude, I was on fire, dude. Oh man. I'll bring us back, so don't worry, don't worry. You guys won't miss anything I said. I'll catch y'all up. But we're back, we're back, we're back. Thanks for everyone who let me know. Thanks, Adam, for the text too. So all y'all who let me know on this, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see really fast. I'm gonna test one thing on my audio because usually the audio is a little bit clearer if it's coming through my audio interface, and I just switched something on. So let me know. You guys can you guys hear me now? Check, 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 check. So I switched from my computer microphone to the audio interface. It looks like it's coming through loud and clear. Where are y'all at? Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? Are we good on this audio interface too? All right. Cool. I think we are good. I think you guys can hear me now. Just give me a thumbs up. All right, sweet. I see Ben. Thanks, Heiser. Okay, sweet. We are good. So let's take it from the top. Let's take it from the top. So here's where I was going with this. First of all, if you guys are live, drop a live in the comments. If you guys are on the replay, drop a replay in the comments. I'll put a note too in the comments for replay people so they can skip ahead. Thanks y'all for being patient and helping me catch the little oopsies. So basically what I was saying is this. Over the last, I think it was last week or the week before, when we were doing a lot of this stuff, Tyler, who is going through remote sales boot camp, and he's been super switched on, super plugged in, which congrats Tyler, who also got his first job opportunity or got a new job opportunity in the remote sales industry. I'm super pumped for you. You're going to rock it. So I'm excited to see how you do on that. But Tyler, I think it was you who had a pretty interesting observation where someone said, oh, it's like we're arbitraging emotions. And so when I'm looking to buy and sell things, so one of the things that I do just as a pastime, as a hobby, is I like to buy and sell things, right? And so I like to buy and sell things in markets I have very limited knowledge about, so that I learn about that market. It's, to me, I just find it incredibly fascinating and fun to learn about markets, because ultimately, if you guys are in sales, sales is the process of basically exchanging goods for money. Well, where does exchanging goods for money occur? It occurs inside of a market. Well, if we look at like ancient markets, if you guys have ever been to Morocco and Marrakesh and the Medina, it's pretty incredible, the market that's there, and like the bartering and the exchange process is a really, really fun process. So I love that process. I like to buy and sell, and I like to buy and sell random things so that I can learn about different markets, and I find that it helps me get better and better and better at sales when I start to get into markets that I don't know anything about, and I start to see nuances of like, why does this market behave this way? Why do people in this market do things that way? Then you start to get a sense of what's going on. And I kind of call it surfing markets. Like if you learn how to surf markets and you understand the different markets, it helps you really quickly be able to properly identify things, right? And so when we're looking at qualification or criteria, so ultimately, again, I like to look at this as an investor. So if you're a salesperson or a business owner, I don't want you to necessarily be thinking like a salesperson and a business owner most of the time. When you're doing the day-to-day, you're going to be thinking that way. But when you're designing your processes and your workflows, I want you to put your investor hat on more so, right? And so when we're looking at with investor lenses, or we have our investor hat on, investors are looking for a few things, right? So they're looking for low risk. They're looking for high upside, right? They want asymmetrical returns with low risk. That's a big thing. If you've ever read Paul Tudor Jones talk about his trading strategy, he basically looks for 5-to-1s, and he wants a 5-to-1. So he knows that basically I could be wrong on 4 trades and be right on 1 trade, and I'm going to be all right. And so he's looking for basically to minimize his risk and to maximize his upside. And then also another thing you'll see good investors will do is they define their criteria. right? So they have very clear defined criteria of what they're looking for and what they want to buy, or basically what their buy point is and what their sell point is. So when you guys are designing things, you want to get clear on your criteria. And this goes for prospects as well, right? So I want to know exactly what do I define as a qualified prospect, and I want it to be objective and measurable. I don't want it to be like, they're coachable. To me, when people say someone's coachable, that is not objective, that's not measurable. It's a very frustrating qualification, and it's gonna make it difficult to manage your sales team. It's gonna make it difficult because everybody has different vibes on what coachable is. Someone might say, they seem coachable enough. You know, coachable is not objective. There's no ability to measure coachable, right? So I want to be able to measure things. And for example, let's say I want motivation. So generally when I'm buying, if I'm buying something from someone, I want to buy from someone who's motivated. Motivated people are generally better people to buy from because they're motivated, or distressed people as well can also be good people to buy from. So you'll see this if you guys have ever played with real estate investing, or if you ever learned anything about real estate investing. So people have clear criteria on what motivation or what desire is. So a place you can find motivated sellers, for example, is an estate sale, which jewelers, if you understand the jewelry business, a lot of jewelers will go to estate sales. They'll shop at estate sales. They'll find goods, they'll buy it from motivated sellers, and then they sell it to people who that's their dream ring, their dream watch, their dream thing, right? So they buy it from someone who doesn't want it, and they sell it to someone who does want it. And that's where the arbitrage is occurring. They're emotionally arbitraging, right? And so in order for you guys to be able to emotionally arbitrage well, you need to be able to have clear and objective criteria. That's just what it comes down to. So if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, just give me a little love in the comments so I know that you guys are getting it. But this is a big, big deal, right? Like if I can understand the emotional arbitrage, why does someone want to buy? Why does someone want to sell? Then I can do a better job. So a lot of times what happens to sales reps is they'll talk to people who lack motivation, right? So they're interested, they might be curious, but they don't have real desire. So the desire is the motivation, but they'll be talking to people who are interested, and this is what we might call looky-loos, tire kickers, time wasters. You've probably heard all kinds of derogatory names for these people, right? I don't look at them as all these mean names or whatever. I just think they don't have motivation. It's fine. I'm going to go find someone who has motivation. And you guys want to be able to spot and identify motivation. So there are some signals of motivation. Also, there are going to be a lot of times in each market or each offer, there's going to be objective things that will occur that create motivation. This is something called a trigger event, which I won't go into today just for the sake of time. But trigger events are a huge deal when it comes time to motivation. So example with the estate sale, the trigger event is their parents died, right? So their parents died, they got all this shit, they didn't really want, they're trying to fire sell it. They don't want to have the time and manage it. They probably have their own kids. They probably got shit going on. There's probably a lot going on. They don't want it, right? So they look to sell whatever they want to get rid of, and those people are motivated. So you want to have clear and objective criteria for what motivation means. And when you do, you'll be able to spot the right buyers way faster, and you'll be able to get off the phone with the wrong people a lot faster. And weird thing is, when you guys turn down people who are interested, a lot of times being rejected will turn someone into a motivated buyer, which is a weird thing in and of itself. But big things that I try to get here is I want objective criteria. Generally, I want to have 3 to 5 questions that will get me to my objective criteria, right? It's especially good if they are binary questions. So I love binary questions, right? So was there a recent death in your family? Yes or no? Yes. Sweet. So now I know, okay, objective criteria, this person's motivated. And you'll see real estate investors will have a list of motivation, right? So death, divorce, there's a whole bunch of causes that occur that then they know, oh, if this is happening, foreclosure. These are all different scenarios where motivation may exist. Tired landlords, so they're losing money on the property because they're not properly managing it. All these are going to be levels of motivation. So when I reach out to this person, I can have an objective criteria to say, hey, do you have a property that you own, but you're not managing it well and it's 2 hours away? Yes. sweet, you're probably motivated to sell and I could probably get it at a discount, right? And so when we're arbitraging emotions, we're figuring out what's this person not want, and then what's this person not want or want, and we're buying from one person, selling to another. And so it's a really interesting idea. Like it seems subtle, but it's a big deal as you guys start to play with this stuff. And ultimately, the big thing is I want you guys to sit down and think through this and get clear and objective criteria, right? So I'll give you some examples as well. Like for me, one of my favorites is, I have objective criteria if someone wants to have closers. So they need to have 10 qualified appointments a week. They need to have a 20% close percentage. Then you have a product price between $3,000 and really like $3,000 to $50,000 a year. If they have those three things, generally they're in a good spot. I know that they're going to be motivated because they're probably taking more sales calls than they want. And they just really need to get off of those sales calls and scale, right? So I have objective criteria, and it makes it super easy to assess, is this person the right person for me to be talking to? And I encourage you guys to do this because it's gonna save you guys so much time. You're gonna be able to get in, get out. You're gonna know exactly what's going on, and you can just identify, hey, is this person qualified fast? And then if they are, dig deep. If they aren't, you move on or ask them for a referral. Really, that's the game. So let's see what we got here. So I want to know if that makes sense for y'all. If it does, just drop something in the comments. We are yeah, let me know if that makes sense. So I'm here. I'm gonna start pulling up everything, and we're gonna start to scale. We're gonna start to hit some dials. So that is what we're about to do. Let me just check my lead sources. I got some good leads to dial here. I want to make sure I'm dialing the right folks. Boom. All right, sweet. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, here we go. Good one. Sweet. So I'm just researching this lead here real fast. Seeing what he's got going on. Cool. Grab the lead's number. Boom. So just so you guys know what I'm doing, I'm pulling phone numbers right now so that I have phone numbers in here from everybody that I need to talk to. This guy's booked already. Thought I just put the, oh, there he is. Sweet. So let me just tell you guys where I'm at with this stuff here. All right. I think I'm good to go. You guys should hear the dials. Let me know if you don't. So these leads are pretty good, so I'm just going to dial back to back a couple times on them. So just so you guys know, these are pretty fresh ones, so I'm not using power dialers as a result. So I can double dial. This guy did say he was on vacation, so he's probably not going to answer. I'm going to probably leave him alone so I don't totally piss him off on vacation. Drop him in my no answer follow-up.
Jared Miller, please leave a message.
At tone, please record the...
Hello?
Hey, how are you, Jared? How things been?
Good, who is this?
It's Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, we were chatting on LinkedIn about hiring some commission-only sales reps.
Oh, is that Al?
No, I was just giving you a ring out of the blue just to see how things are going and see if you wanted to set up an appointment for later on in the week.
I thought I got set up tomorrow for the 28th. That's what... Yeah, hang on a second. Can you... Actually, let's just talk just come back in like a couple minutes, okay?
Call you back in a couple minutes?
Yeah, I just want to finish it because I'm on a call with somebody. I just want to finish up.
All right, easy.
All right.
Bye. Look at that. He definitely did not schedule with us too, so that's a good sign. So, yeah, he's not scheduled. Sick. That is very good. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably just actually hang out for maybe like 2-3 minutes, see what happens with him, and then we will go. So if you guys want anything you guys want to drop in the chat while we wait for a little bit, see if we can get a text back from him, drop it in the chat and we'll just jam on that. So here, I'm gonna say, so basically I just said, just text me whenever you're ready to roll. Boom. Boom. Sweet. Hell yeah, that's a good question. Ben had a good question too. He said, is there a Zoom link for this? So I don't do Zoom links typically on these, but I've been thinking about doing that. If you guys wanted to do like especially for private clients, like to be in a Zoom room where we have more of like an exclusive Zoom room, and you guys can ask questions and kind of comment live on video. If you guys want to do that, let me know in the chat. Just put Zoom or it'll say like I want Zoom, something like that. Zoom, just put Zoom. If you guys are private clients and you want to be on a Zoom where you guys can actually talk in between time, let me know, because I think that could be fun. It might be interesting also for people who are watching. So. One of my favorite things is when you cold outreach people and then they spam you back. I like spamming people back too. It's one of my favorite things to do to people. So a lady just spammed me back. I like that for her. So Ben asked a good question. He said basically, if someone's interested, how do you get them off the phone, right? So there's a couple different ways you can do this. So it depends on how the call's set up and how the call's structured. So generally what's going to happen is, first of all, just because someone's signaling interest only, sometimes that means that they're playing their cards close to their chest, right? So I'll still go for about 10 to 15 minutes to poke and see if I could get to a point where motivation comes out, right? If motivation never really comes out, then I'm just gonna call it out, and I polarize them based on this. And there's a pretty advanced like dialogue flow that I have, where you're like, hey, do you know what the difference between interest and desire is? Oh, here he goes. He just called back. So I'll ask them about if they know the difference between interest and desire, and then I use it as a moment to educate them and explain to them how they're not signaling desire, and that's why I'm not ready to move forward with them. So that's that. We can go more in depth actually on a private call with that.
Yeah, hi.
There you go. Yo, I double checked the calendar. We definitely don't have anything scheduled coming up. So maybe it's.
What?
Huh?
This is somebody different. What is the name of your company?
CoachingSales.com.
Yeah, I don't have something. So I'm meeting with somebody, quality consistent leads. That's who I'm meeting.
Oh, no. I haven't heard of them before. No, we're Coaching Sales. We've been in business for 7 years. We've helped clients generate over $500 million in revenue, and we've placed over 3,500 commission-only sales reps. And last year, the 60th fastest growing company on the Inc. 5000 was a sales team where basically all the sales reps came from us.
So what are you, Mark?
That's me, yeah.
Hi. Okay. So my brain was thinking this was something else. Let me just go to coachingsales.com. I just wanted to see what I'm looking at here.
Cool.
So, you guys are in Florida?
Well, yes, but we only build remote sales teams. So, like all the sales reps, we staff globally. So we have clients in Australia, we have clients in the UK, we have clients all over the US, Canada, etc. So basically, Big Four is where most of our folks are.
And you work with digital agencies like that, funding agency?
Yeah, agencies and coaches are generally where we play the best, and those are our favorite style offers.
Wow, okay. So I'm seeing from people here. So Agency Lab, all agencies. I think I've heard of Agency Lab.
Yeah, they're pretty big. That's Joel Kaplan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, So basically, what I usually like to do is just kind of get a good sense of like a few quick questions, and then it's normally easiest if we actually set aside a time, probably tomorrow or Friday, to do a little bit more of a deep dive, because I'm kind of in between things right now. But just a few quick questions to make sure it's worth your time and you don't waste an hour of your life. Is right, your coaching packages, are they generally, or your agency packages, are they generally between like a $5,000 and $50,000 upfront investment for clients?
Yeah, and then usually somewhere we have programs between $5,000 to $25,000 a month as a consulting sort of. The way I do it is more of a consulting, but yeah, we can do that. I work more in the mid-market range traditionally, but it seems like I might have to kind of take on some SB type work. I really don't want the mom and pop shop. That's not really my thing. I'm looking for, some of my clients were like Selfstar.com, Railworks in the past. We just stopped with the KCCLC.com, which is a $100 million contract, $100 million company. So those are generally where we play best, just because we have a larger team and are able to do sort of omni-channel solutioning, everything from websites to marketing to creative and strategy. And we can think of it holistically and always approach our work. Are we giving the best ROI, ROAS, and moving the needle? So that's our spiel.
That makes sense. Typically, where we like to play is going to be sub $50 million. So like a $10 to $50 million company is a good sweet spot for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what we see is the deal cycles when we go above 50 mil start to get like closer to 180-day deal cycles or even longer sometimes, and that just doesn't work. Yeah, that just doesn't work with our systems. So that's why I like that. Like usually if we're at a 10 mil, we could go straight to CMO, straight to a director of marketing, straight to CEO and still get a sign off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like them because they usually don't have a large marketing department.
Yeah.
We then, in fact, become the marketing department for them.
Yeah. And a lot of times at that, especially like 10, 20 mil, they may not be able to afford a director of content and they might not be able to afford the whole production team. And so it allows you guys to fill that gap.
Exactly. I mean, even $60,000 a year, we can do more for them than anyone who's internally at 60,000 a year.
Oh yeah, all day. Yeah. And they normally get that too. So it's pretty easy to kind of, as soon as you show the use case and like demonstrate that, they'll usually kind of, it's a faster deal cycle. That's why I like that market. So then in terms of normally people will come to us in one of four situations. So sometimes we'll get people who say like, hey, I just need like more consistent leads right now and more consistent pipeline. The second thing we hear a lot is I have too many leads that I'm not following up with and I just need a setter who can help nurture and qualify people. The third thing we hear a lot is right now I'm like booked out for the next 2 weeks. I have too many sales calls on my calendar and I need someone who can close deals so I can scale. And then the fourth thing we hear is usually like, my sales systems are humming. I just need bodies so I can scale. So I just need to like setters and closers on tap. Does one of those describe your situation?
I'm not getting leads. Number one, I've got this brilliant team, and our email. I'm still waiting for my team to put together their email marketing, our drip campaign. And I got to tell you, it's crushing me. It's crushed me since the beginning of this company. The only client, I'm going to be frank with you, the only clients that I've gotten are ones that I've worked before when I was working at Madison Avenue agencies, and it became more of a, hey, I can do better. Remember how successful we were last time. Let's do it again.
Okay, so everything's personal, network, word of mouth, referral, that stuff is primarily where business is coming in?
Yeah, my leads, and I've got HubSpot, I've got ZoomInfo, I'm supposed to have, these great campaigns, I've got a great art department. I mean, I swear to God, they're now, I'm getting pushed internally Friday now to just look at my new AOR drip campaign, the give, take campaign that I wanted. And it's like, holy crap, how long is this contain?
Yeah, it shouldn't take that long.
I'm not pleased.
Interesting. Okay, well, yeah, that definitely sounds annoying. It makes sense though, and especially if you have a good team, which it sounds like. If you have the ability to serve and scale the fulfillment, that's almost a really hard part. A lot of people get stuck there, or they get stuck on the sales. So if you have that, then it makes sense.
I have so many people that are wanting to work with me for my former agencies. I'm just shocked that I'm not a millionaire at this point, because the talent. And I come from big companies, dude. I was at Blue Fountain Media, I was at Cora, I was at 3 Pillar Global. These are people that have been, whatever, cast aside because every single one of those companies was bought up by either Publicis or Scientific was bought Blue Fountain Media, and now they became Scientific, and they dropped 90% of their clients so they can focus on Microsoft, IBM, and FedEx.
That's crazy. That's awesome. It says a lot about like your leadership and people liking to work with you in general. So one quick question, and then we'll look at potentially finding a time. So, are you willing to invest between $4,000 or $48,000 upfront as long as you're contractually guaranteed to double your initial investment?
I don't know how to do that. I have no revenue coming in. I mean, this is the problem. I mean, this is just, it's just too hard. I mean, this guy I'm talking to tomorrow, they don't take anything until like a contract comes in. And I was like, okay, that seems, I'll listen to that because, dude, I'm in debt. I am barely able to pay my team, even though I did 1.5 million rev in like 2 years. We're behind. We're out of money, and the clients just aren't there. And my business partners coming forward, we're like, what are we going to do? So I'm taking these calls. I've been entertaining this, but like, I don't know where that money would come from. Like, I don't have that. I have no problem giving you. I give a pretty fat referral fee too to people who bring me in clients. My custom store client contract was $300,000. Working up $15,000 for it. That's 5%. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
No problem giving a good percentage back. There's no money. I don't even if I wanted to, Mike. There's nothing to give.
Okay, no worries, man. I get it. It happens. So, I would say just hustle your word of mouth and kind of initial network. We just don't work with clients who don't have any skin in the game, so we do require an initial upfront investment, but we do back it by a contingency guarantee, so that way you're guaranteed to double your money. But if you can't do at least $4,000, it really wouldn't make sense to have a conversation.
I mean, $4,000 gets me what? I mean, you're saying double. I mean, if somebody, I'm not going to take a client for $8,000, right? I mean, that's not even worth it's not even worth $8,000 a month.
Yeah,
like doubling that mean? Like, what would $4,000 even get me?
It varies. So I just would need to look at your systems and say, okay, here's what we would do. But usually all our starting packages range in between that $4K and $48K initial investment. So generally with $4K, it'd be someone who would be generating leads for you. At the very least would be what we'd require up front. So
why don't we do this? Why don't we touch base again? I obviously I don't think we need to do a demo tomorrow or this week. It's just not. It does not make sense. But
cool.
Let's stay in touch. And why don't you literally put me like touch base every 3 months? Like put in your HubSpot or whatever. Just check in every 3 months, and I'll know who this is, and or if you want to send me an email or whatever, and I'll we'll talk and we'll see where we're at. Because I'm not. Trusting that your success is legit and you guys are able to get out there and get those CMOs or director of marketing or sales directors or whoever on these calls or booking these meetings, and it depends on what I'm doing. So who am I to say you're not working well? And if you've got all the success, then somebody's doing well with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking to you.
I don't have a team like you do.
Yeah, it's a good example. Like, I'm talking to you, so our stuff's working. Like, you're in the middle of it, right? So it's pretty clear evidence that it works. But what I'll do, I made a note here. I'll touch base and probably like a little bit shorter than 3 months, because I know how it is with the agency game. Like you're one referral away. You know what I mean? And then that's all you need, and then things will clear, and you'll have enough room, and we can start to get that like top of funnel really humming for you.
Yeah, I just want to. I mean, I can't even say this client was with me for 6.5 years, and it was a $300,000 to $400,000 contract over 2 years, and I lost it. And I'm just devastated because I'm like, well, there goes all of my plans.
Yeah, that sucks, man. That sucks. But sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. So we gotta just kind of try and find the silver lining, which it's hard, easier said than done, but I know.
Yep. All right, so Mike, we'll be in touch, and I think we connected on LinkedIn.
Yes, we should be.
I'll follow coaching sales, so I'll see a little bit more of your updates. Follow me, obviously, and I would say, anything, if there's anything you want me to read that you're sending out to other agency owners or any prospects, I'll be happy to read it.
Cool. Okay, I'll send you some resources then. I'll probably just drop them to you on LinkedIn, and that'll be the easiest bet. And I'll touch base in probably a month's time and see how things are rolling.
How do you know Dennis Yu?
Just being in the game for a long time, kind of. He does a lot of good ad stuff, and just being in the game, knowing him, and that's basically it.
You should dig a little deeper.
Huh?
Dig a little deeper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I've used the $1 a day Facebook ad strategy for middle of funnel stuff. That works really well, but I've never like personally worked with him up close or anything. He's just an acquaintance.
There's I'll just say look at his Glassdoor recommendation, his Glassdoor reviews.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up. I appreciate that.
Yep.
All right, Jared. Have a good one.
All right.
Sweet. Good call. What did you guys learn? What stood out to you? Drop that in the chat. I want to hear exactly how it's all rolling. Tyler, great. Primarily expressive. I see what you mean by life story. Yeah, exactly. He answered all the questions very, very long. Great job, Yasser, as well, for picking that out, that he's expressive, because he definitely wasn't expressive. That's why he was telling me, he was basically spilling the beans, like, straight out the gate. So that's usually an expressive there. Cool. So Ben said, I'm curious what's going on through your mind and your thought process. So basically my thought process is this on that call. Really good question. So he's obviously a legit guy. Right? He obviously has a lot of experience. He obviously knows what he's doing. He has done $1.5 million in 2 years. So that's a real accomplishment. He's worked in Madison Avenue. He's worked with a lot of big name brands. He has the right tools. He has HubSpot. He has Zoom Info. Like, he has a lot of good tools. Like, he's just so busy on the client work side that the internet marketing game is a different beast. It's really hard. So he just hasn't been able to connect those dots, which I get. That's normal. I work with a lot of folks who haven't been able to do that. That's literally why we exist, is to serve those exact type of people. So my thought process is, this is a good guy. By all intents and purposes, he's someone who could be a client and be a home run client. Like, we can knock that out of the park. So what I wanted to do was just keep a good relationship, be nice, wrap up the call relatively quickly. So, but be nice, keep an open door, make sure we warm him up, make sure we add him into long-term nurture sequences, so that way he can kind of get a good feel for us, hang out on the list. Like, a lot of my best clients have been on my list for a year and they just then convert, or 2 years, 3 years, and then they convert. So I'm totally cool with that. I'm in this for the long haul. Like, this is not, I've been doing this for, at this point, 7-8 years, right? I've been literally building sales teams for 8 years, coaching sales basically for 7 years. So I've been doing this for as long as I have. Like, I'm in this for the long game. This is not something that I'm here today, gone tomorrow, and he's not a fit, so I don't care. Now, it's something that I want to keep an open and established relationship. And I just want to make sure that, we don't set up a demo given that the basically the situation is where it's at. So protect his time, protect our time, make sure that he gets in the right pocket. And I do know, like, he's really only one deal away. Like, if one deal can change the entire equation for him. So send him your emails with all the referrals so he sees how fast you can ramp. Yeah, exactly. That's basically it. It's like, add him into the nurture sequences, let him see what we do, and then from there he'll be able to kind of lock in. So let's see what else you guys got here. So, and a lot of times too, like, the situation he's in probably has a lot to do with the fact that he has team, right? And so he's probably overspent on team. I know from personal experience. So he probably overspent on team a little bit, and it's just that even though he made a lot of money, he doesn't have a lot of money. So it is what it is. Like, he'll clear it. He'll be smarter this next time around. And ideally, if we help him, then he'll be even smarter from that point, because, he'll have us in his back pocket as well. So that's basically that. That's how it goes. Really good call, really good guy, nice guy. He's doing great. And I know he can do great work. Like, you can just kind of tell from the way he operates. He's a good guy. He does great work. So that was a good call. So let's keep it rolling. I'm glad you guys picked up the expressive, though, because that's definitely true. He's definitely a relationship kind of guy. That's why he said, you know, and you could see like the relationship guys, the expressives, you notice how he ended the call too. He's like, hey, yeah, send me everything. I'm happy to take a look. Let's keep a conversation going. Let's keep a dialogue. So the expressives tend to believe like, you know, your network's your net worth, that it's not what you know, it's who you know, those kinds of things. And so they're always looking to keep a good relationship with a lot of people. So it's a good signal that he actually was an expressive. And I'm happy that, you know, I saw Yasser, Tyler, both of you guys picked up on that. So that was a good one there. Let's see, we got time for a couple more dials. Maybe we can hit one more call in the meantime. So let's hit these peeps up and see what we get here. Oh, this guy looks good. I'm actually pumped to text this guy. Also, I do want you guys to notice, like, the double dial, especially on certain, like, new leads, is pretty key. Like I picked up on the second call, not the first one, so double dialing is definitely a key here. Hey, Robert. How you been?
I'm sorry?
Hey, how you been? It's Mike.
Who is this?
Mike?
Mike?
Mike Mark. We were chatting about hiring commission-only sales reps.
Yes. We spoke yesterday?
Not quite yesterday. No, we were going back and forth on email. I think 2-3 days ago.
2 or 3 days ago. Okay, because I've been in the market talking to different people, so I'm having a hard time remembering our exchange. Could you help me or bring me up to speed?
It was just pretty limited. You said, hey, give me a call. I'm interested in chatting about hiring sales reps. And so that I'm just giving you a call to chat about hiring sales reps.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for following up. And what organization do you work with?
It's coachingsales.com.
Okay. Coachingsales.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I have a suggestion, please. I'd love to chat with you for a few minutes. Now is not a good time.
Yep.
Can you shoot me an email and we can put something on the calendar and you can share with me what you do?
Yeah, totally. Can I just ask 3 quick questions?
Actually, I'm with a client right now. I didn't want to be rude.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I'll shoot you an email.
Email address.
Yep, and we can set up a time.
You're awesome. Thank you.
All right, bye. Thank you. Boom. Anything stand out there for you guys? What did you guys learn? What did you guys hear? Sweet. And again, second dial. I hit him on the second dial. He answered second dial. The double dial. Oh, Ben said that was a driver. Facts. That is true, right? He kind of tried to put me in the position to qualify to him and blah, blah, blah. And they said, can I have a suggestion? And yeah, he was definitely a driver. So good catch on that. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. You guys can know what, like, the communication style within a fraction of a second. Amazing. Yeah, that's funny, actually. So Tyler said, amazing how he admitted that he remembered talking to you but never did. And it's normal. Like, I get it. They're talking to several people. They'll confuse some folks and whatnot. So that's why it's just like, you just got to play the game. And to be honest, it's a lot of fun selling toe-to-toe. Like, I like selling against people. I like selling toe-to-toe. And so that was a good call. We'll ping him. We'll get something set up, and we'll go from there. So that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, we can hang out and answer questions until the top of the hour. Before we wrap up, I just want to say, if you guys are looking to scale your sales, whether you're a sales rep or a business owner, Just drop scale in the comments below here, and then I'll reach out to you, or it's basically someone on my team or myself will reach out to you. We'll have a quick chat. If you guys are looking to hire sales reps, or if you're a sales rep looking for a sales gig, just type in scale in the comments, and then we'll get something set up and help you guys out. So I hope you guys got a lot out of today. This was really fun. Those were a couple good calls, especially I'm working through a new process. So if you notice, the conversation flow is a little bit different because I've tweaked a couple things based on how it's working, and I'm actually really liking the process overall. So it is working pretty good. What questions you guys have? I'm going to hang back right to the point at the beginning of the call. Yeah, I'm here to talk about hiring sales reps, and pause. Exactly, dude. You guys may have heard me say this, and this is the same thing I talk about when you guys are writing emails. Like, you got to get to what's in it for them straight off the rip, right? And people are actively looking for something usually. So he said, I'm in the market for this. Yes, dude, he's in market. That's what it means. When I'm in market, it's because I'm looking for something. I have desire already. And so it's way easier to sell to people who are in market than it is to convince someone that they need something that they didn't know they need, right? So I'm just trying to catch them at the right place, right time. So that's that. Any questions you guys got on any of this stuff? I also noticed you're very staccato with your cadence, like to the point where it seems you've turned it up a few notches. Ben, a question for you on that. Is that meaning in general today, or was that in that specific conversation with that driver? What's wild is I didn't realize if that's the case. But again, staccato is where certainty exists. So whenever you guys are being a little bit more staccato with your cadence, generally that's a signal that you're... that you know what you're talking about. Okay, sweet. I'll get you hooked up on that too, Ben. Anything else you guys notice? Any other questions that you guys have on the process of what we just did there? But the key is, okay, so I spent 15 minutes. I got a long-term good lead, right? So he's not a conversion today, but he may convert in 3 months. He may convert in 30 days. He may convert in 6 months. He may convert in a year from now. It doesn't matter, but he's a long-term good fit that's going to be added to our pipeline in general. So I'm happy with that. And then the second guy, he's in market. He's looking for a solution right now, hot lead. And that was just in 2 convos, right? And I mean, the reality is, I spent 30 minutes talking. So in 30 minutes, we had 2 good convos. One turns into a long-term nurture. One turns into basically a short-term follow-up, and then we're good to roll. So that's the game, you guys. That's the game. That's the game. And when you guys are closers, like, it's so much fun. Like, I want you guys to fall in love with this part and lean into the full stack aspects, because being full stack is where you guys are strong. That's where you guys are self-reliant. Even as a business owner, you want to be full stack. It's going to make you strong. It's going to make you self-reliant. You're going to be able to freaking swim in any current, and you're not going to worry about it. So this is why I'm demoing this stuff for you guys on a weekly basis too. I want you guys to see it. I want you guys to watch me over the shoulder. I want you guys to pick up what I'm putting down and see the little tricks that I'm doing. So that you guys can continue to get better. Sweet. Let me just see if there's any last comments before we shut her down today. Yeah, get into better rapport. Exactly, dude. That's interesting. Someone said, I get into better rapport because I respect their time right off the bat, right? So it's like, hey, I'm friendly. Like, they know who I am. And then after that, then once I hit that 9-word transition where I give them the hook of like the big benefit, at that point, then they're hooked. So that's the hook. And once I get them hooked, yes. So drivers love people who will stand up to them. That's like one of the really weird, interesting things that you get with drivers. Some people take the challenger sale a little too far, but with drivers, generally, you want to challenge them on ideas. So I was talking to someone, and he said something to me the other day. I have a couple examples of this too that are really funny. So I was talking to one guy, and then he said something. I forget what he said. I just said, I want to challenge you on that. Because he told me he's closing 80%. I'm like, I want to challenge you on that. He's like, huh? I was like, you're talking about word of mouth and referrals. Everybody closes 80% on word of mouth and referrals. When you go cold traffic, it's a completely different ball game. He goes, oh, that's a valid point. Right? And he was a driver. He was super controlling. But when I challenged him, he respects me. And so with drivers, they don't respect people that they can walk all over. They respect people who define boundaries clearly and who challenge them on their ideas. They're surrounded by yes men a lot of the time. And so when you're not a yes man, it signals to them that you actually know what you're talking about and you're willing to stand up for it. So good catch, Ben. Ben said when you have a driver energy, you got to turn up the disagreeableness so you can stand up to the pressure. Big time. He also said you were in part of a call where it looked like you were in an inferior frame. He asked you a question and you answered very shortly and plenty of silence. Just an observation. Yes, dude. And a lot of times with my market, they try and position us into an inferior frame all the time, which sometimes I'll kind of like matador them a little bit. So I'll let them feel that way. And then I flip it really fast on the back end. But that's one of the ways where short answers, being punchy, not being like overly people pleasing, overly agreeable. That's the way you get the respect of a driver. So Tyler says, I notice your voice follows the tempo of the people you talk about. The weird thing is this is completely unconscious at this point. I don't even realize that I'm doing it. But I actually wouldn't be surprised if it happens to some extent. I know that, if I'm talking to amiables are a little bit slower, so I'll slow down a little bit. If I'm talking to expressives, I'll be a little bit more friendly. If I'm talking to drivers, I'm a little bit more staccato. Same with analyticals. You're tight, punchier, fewer words to trip over, those sorts of things. And so it's something that I'm doing, but it's interesting because it's something I'm doing and it's totally unconscious. Like I'm not thinking about it at all. And when you guys are pointing it out, I'm not even realizing I'm doing it, but I do know that I actually do that. So it's cool that you guys are picking that up, and I'm glad you're seeing it. Sweet, you guys. This was a great sesh. Thank y'all for showing up, playing full out. Hopefully you get a lot out of this, and then put it to practice. Go put it in use, play with it yourselves. No matter what you guys are doing, you guys can use this stuff all the time. Like whether you guys are looking to rent a new apartment, whether you guys are looking to buy a home, whether you guys are looking to shop for moving companies, like this is what I was saying, like enjoy the process of buying and selling. The process of buying and selling, if the more you buy, the more you sell, the more sophisticated you become as a salesperson and the better you become overall. So it's a lot of fun. Just enjoy the process. Get out there in the market, talk to people, and you'll learn a ton. So with that, close some deals, change some lives, make some money. Peace.